Did I buy overpriced jeans in hopes that they were gonna fit me?
Rata inmunda, animal rastrero, escoria de la vida,
This song is a vibe.
adefesio mal hecho.
I wonder what she's singing about.
Alexa, I need you to translate this one.
I don't know if you're ready for this one, but let's do it. Filthy rat, creeping animal, scum of life, shoddy monstrosity, subhuman, specter of hell, damn vermin, how much damage you've done to me. Vermin, poisonous serpent, waste of life, I hate you and I despise you. Two-legged rat, I'm talking to you. Because a creeping creature, even being the most cursed, compared to you, is very small. Bro, I don't know about you, but I think my singing is getting better.
Girl, ¿te andas quejando de tu nariz? Yo ni putas vergas tengo.
No mommy's way, a la vergo, pinche chancudonga.
What do Chinese people search for? Why Mexicans? Let's go! Why do Mexicans have to smuggle into United States? Why do Mexicans have to immigrate to United States? Why do Mexicans speak Spanish? Why are Mexicans shorter? Why do Mexicans look like why do Mexicans look like Asians? Why do Mexicans look like Chinese? Why do Mexicans like to have this small beard? Why do Mexicans look like Asians? Here. Why Mexicans have such a high GDP per capita, like $10,000? Why do Mexicans need to go to America?
Pues no tanto, hay unas cosas bien mamonas. Acabo de leer sobre el municipio de donde viene mi familia y la neta, el gobierno del don Porfirio eran unos puñetones. Mi familia, por ejemplo, pues eran pobres, trabajaban en los campos, chambeaban. Y pues aquí dice que los peones tuvieron que decirle amo a los patrones. Tenían que bajar la mirada, quitarse el sombrero y agachar la cabeza cuando hablaban con ellos. Y a las mujeres, los amos les decían niñas. No importaba si tuvieran 100 años y si le interesaba la niña de un peón, la mandaban a la casa del amo para violarla, obviamente. Y lo que dice aquí parece que por eso mis tíos, mis tíos, hermanos Pantoja, se volvieron asaltantes. A ver, aquí lo que dice es montados en briosos, corceles, terciados carrilleras en el pecho y empuñando carabinas de 30 a 30 al grito de ¡Viva Madero y muera el gobierno! They're cool.
All right, talk about the famous black people Mexicans love. Time to talk about the famous Mexicans black people love. Let's get it, let's go. 5 on this Baby Bash. For y'all that don't know, he made a lot of hot songs in 2000 with Akon, T-Pain. And for a rapper, he was good at collaborating hip-hop with R&B pretty well. He had his own type of style. On the list, Be Real, the member from Cypress Hill. For y'all that don't know, Cypress Hill is one of the biggest rap groups of the 90s. They made the hit song, Insane in the Membrane. 3 on the list, Carlos Santana from the band Santana. If you don't know about him, ask your parents about him. This man made jazz and R&B songs, and you probably heard his instrumentals in some of your favorite hit songs today, or at least a few years ago, believe it or not. 2, Miguel. Yeah, I know he had Black American, but he still had Mexican American too. We gotta acknowledge that. Number 1 on the list, George Lopez. I mean, who else you thought was gonna be up here? He get the number 1 spot easy.
has a deep and separate personal journey each and every single person will have to go through for themselves. Like, the label Hispanic wasn't added to the census until the 1980s. It was until 1997 where they started adding Latino. Mind you, these categories are still fairly new, and they were created to strip us of our indigenous identity, our indigenous roots, heritage, culture, etc. Let me start by specifying, not everybody has indigenous roots. Not everyone from Latin America is descended from an indigenous person. But majority of us, our DNA looks like this. It's a mixture of Native, European, and African. None of Latin America before the 16th century spoke Spanish. People often forget and don't realize Spanish is a European country, it's a European language. They're European people. Just the only Europeans on earth that happen to speak Spanish because it's their language, literally. I suggest getting a test from Ancestry. Ever since I got mine, I've been piecing together, you know, where I came from and where my colonizer DNA took my other ancestors.
What's something really important that you should have been taught in school but you weren't? I'll go.
This. And now as I'm decolonizing, doing my own research, you know, learning my own history, I understand why they don't teach us in school. For many reasons. One of them is they would have to address that Mexico was indigenous. Which then brings up this. They don't want people finding out they have Native Americans in cages. This all happened from the Mexican-American War, which is something they also don't teach. And why is that? Because it leads up to the Treaty of Guadalupe. How Arizona, California, Texas, Colorado, Nevada, and Utah all used to be part of Mexico's land. And how that treaty gave many indigenous people, aka Mexicans, choice to stay in the United States or to move to that small little section that's only Mexico after the United States took all those additional states. A lot of people calling themselves Latinos are not actually Latino. So a lot are unaware. Like true history, it's shocking.
Ella hace todo por seducirme y yo voy, haciendo lo que ella me pide y yo voy, porque fue la que siempre quise y yo voy, si estoy con ella no es un crimen y yo voy, ella hace todo por seducirme y yo voy, haciendo lo que ella me pide y yo voy.
Esto no me da gracia. Esto no es chistoso, esto no es bonito. ¿Qué cosas andas mirando estas babosadas? Eso no es de Dios. ¿Y eso qué? Ay, quita esta taral.
Hi, let's talk about a legend I most recently illustrated about a man and a deer in Izalco, El Salvador. Once upon a time, long ago, there was a man who came to the forest in order to herd animals that he found there. One day, on the hunt for a new victim, he found a deer, a handsome deer with large antlers and very peaceful, and it was that peace that he sought to destroy. When he shot the deer, when he attacked the deer, nothing would hurt it, not a scratch, nothing. Confused and frustrated, the man left. The deer, however, followed him home. Before he could make it back, the deer had transformed himself into a beautiful woman, the most beautiful woman the man had ever seen, and upon laying his eyes on her, he was immediately seduced. She said, "Come closer," and he did. And when he did, she struck and killed him instantly. And she was not merciful. She dragged his soul down to hell, where he would be tortured by all the animals that he had tortured in life. So happy ending.
I'll tell you the story about a country that went through 200 years of poverty and they were able to revert it. This is Bolivia. Bolivia was first occupied by the Tiwanaku people that were amazing on architecture and agriculture. By the time Spain arrived to this land, it was occupied by the Inca Empire. From then on, Bolivia went from political conflict into political conflict until the first indigenous president was elected. Evo Morales. The government of Evo Morales was capable of reducing illiteracy from 13.3% to only 4.7% in 2 years. Bolivia's economy grew to 4.9% per year, only comparable to China's. Lower poverty by 25% and extreme poverty by 23% in 2 years. But then, guess what? Boom! The biggest reserves of lithium in the world were found in Bolivia. That's when the United States said that Bolivia needed some humanitarian intervention, and they put money into a coup that threw Evo Morales from government. But this is something that you guys need to listen to. The people of Bolivia rejected violence, and they won. They won. They stopped the violence that the United States was trying to provoke in there, and they went into voting again, and they won. They got elected another popular leader, because if there is someone that can stop imperialistic power, that's us, you and I, no one else.
Hi, I'm Mexican. Unlike a lot of other Mexicans, I am very fortunate to know a lot about my indigenous heritage. My entire family is Otomi. They all speak Ñañú. I've been living in our indigenous pueblo for the past 6 months. This is actually our traditional clothing. And I've seen a lot of discussion about whether or not Mexicans can claim their native ancestry. A lot of people say they can't because in doing so that they're mitigating actual indigenous cultures. Coming from an indigenous person, all I can say is, please claim your native ancestry. Do not go around claiming that you're Aztec, Mayan, etc. There were hundreds of civilizations, but it's the same way that African Americans are referred to as African Americans because they literally do not know where they came from in Africa because of colonization. We are the exact same. Just because you do not know what indigenous civilization you came from is not your fault. It's because of colonization. Your ancestors literally had their culture ripped away from them, and it is not your fault. We are natives, and do not let people take that away from you.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
Oh, I feel like this is gonna be controversial. You know how in Mexico black people liberated black people? Jose Maria Morelos y Pavón, for most of the history we thought that he was a mix of Spaniard and indigenous, just like most of Mexico, but recently we found out that her mother was listed as a free woman. And in order for you to be a free person, you needed to be a black person. And then later we found out also that Jose Maria Morelos y Pavón was actually in the casta system classified as a pardo mulatto. And a pardo mulatto is a mix of 50% black and 50% indigenous. Was one of the heroes of the Mexican independence, and he proclaimed the end of slavery in my state, in Chilpancingo, Guerrero, on October 5th, 1813. And that's how black people liberated black people in Mexico as well.
So my family is from Puerto Rico, and I completely understand the urge to reconnect with your indigenous heritage because so much of the island has it, but very little knows anything about it. But that being said, this isn't the way to go. The majority of what was said in that video is incorrect. For starters, the Taíno never even worshipped gods. They worshipped Jemi, ancestral spirits, and there were much more than 4 of them, none of them exclusive to Puerto Rico. Atabe is our supreme female spirit in charge of horizontal bodies of water and female fertility, whereas Yukahu is associated with the fertility of the land, the harvest. Guobonze causes hurricanes, but she also has 2 helpers, Guautaba and Costriqui. And while Huracan's existence is hotly debated, all the Taíno elders I've spoken to personally agree that he is most likely a matter of mistranslation in which the Mayan god Huracan was mistakenly labeled Taíno. I know it's difficult finding accurate information. I personally have made mistakes when discussing the subject in the past, but this is a deep misrepresentation. The trends are cool, but research before partaking.
If you are Hispanic or Latino and you see another Hispanic or Latino speak on the racism or colorism in our community, and you're so quick to say something like, oh, I'm Hispanic, or I'm Latino, and this never happens, oh, we don't care about color, that doesn't happen, you're still part of the problem. Like, you might not be colorist or racist yourself, but I'm pretty sure you probably allow it to happen, or you probably know someone that is, you just choose not to speak out on it. Like, I remember in middle school, there was this Latino boy, and he sat next to me, and he was talking about this Latina, and she was both of them are brown, like me, maybe darker, but they were still brown. And he was talking about her, and then he started making fun of her, the way she looked, and then he called her a monkey. Like, if she was a white Latina, he wouldn't have called her that. Like, I remember I saw this one post of this one Mexican. She said that, oh yeah, white Mexicans, they can't say the B slur because they know they would never get called that. And a lot of white Mexicans and pale Mexicans were so mad, talking about, oh, this is colorist, this is dividing us. Like, oh, for real, this is colorist? But you telling us that we look like monkeys, that's not colorist? Also, if you're a white or pale Mexican or Hispanic or Latino, you cannot experience colorism. You can't. Also, the whole comment section was so quick to say stuff like, oh, Mexicans, we come in different shades, we come in different colors. Like, we know that. Also, why are you guys so quick to say that when it comes to white, Hispanic, and Latinos? But when it comes to Afro-Latinos, you guys stay silent. Like, whenever an Afro-Latino speaks on our community, you guys are so quick to just jump them and be like, are you even Latino? You're black. Like, you guys never keep the same energy for Afro-Latinos, so what the heck?
Putting my phone on the sushi conveyor belt.
Check the Yuki.
Hey, what's up? Yeah. Alguien me mandó su teléfono para grabar. Was that yours? Oh no. Dile que antes de que coman se chupe. Ay, no, mira.
Tienes un celular ahí, güey.
Están grabando.
Dale.
Mira, 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 mira acá.
I'm pretty sure everybody at one point in their life has seen the movie El Dorado, or aka The Golden City. Or maybe you've heard of the legend of El Dorado, but where does this legend come from? Well, let's talk about it. So, the legend of El Dorado comes from this famous lagoon in Colombia called Guatavita. And it's also the ancestral sacred land of the Muiscas or Chibchas. Here, the Muisca would do a ceremony of purification or recognition for the new cacique, which is a leader, king, emperor, whatever you want to call it. The cacique would stay overnight in a cave, and the next morning, him and 4 priests would get on a wooden raft filled with emerald and gold. They would travel to the middle of the lagoon and throw all the emeralds and gold into the water in gratitude of their ancestral spirits. The cacique would also throw himself into the water, but before doing that, they would cover his body in this gold dust. The wealth of this lagoon was known by Spanish conquistadors as the treasures of El Dorado. And trust me, they took advantage and looted it without contemplation.
They named it marijuana to make it sound Mexican. And so working with new...
So true. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it, but also you can look into it online. Marijuana is the only drug that people say in Spanish, and it's to criminalize Spanish-speaking people, Spanish-speaking countries. And when you're in the US, you know, it's so easy for people to associate marijuana with people from Mexico, Central America, South America, the Caribbean. If they hear Spanish, they're like, oh, marijuana. Spanish-speaking people, criminalized. It's all wrapped into one. And yeah, I find it funny because we have an English word for it, cannabis. It's just that nobody uses it. It was intentional. It is intentional.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
Ooh, I like this one. I got an epiphany, I don't need a beamer to be seen or a beeper to beat me, I'm pristine. I'm a car wash man, packing like a soccer mom van. White people type clean, all Latinos know what that means. Walk into a white home and you're like, whoa, just like the movies. Man, sue me, we don't mean to be white, but we've been groomed to be. And that's the truth, you see, it's hard to disagree. So it'd be my decree to be honest. Latinx to the moon and back in full effects to anything else than suplex. Ni cara cuente through all this. Not my fault, we all wish to be in situations that only exist for the alt-rich, cause then anything less will be traitorous. And that's making me pissed. This you on my wrist I've been kissed with will not let me fit in with the rest of it. So I go maniac or brainiac or athletic or I'm pathetic. Got my whole fucking race on my back and I can't disappoint. Man, busy running out of choices. My white friends say time will come but won't say when. So I guess I'll go back to bars with my pen.
You think it's so fucking funny, huh? Funny.
Yamanabadoo, Yamanamama, Lama Gamagoo, and I'm a bebop, Gamma juice, Yabba the Babba when the beat drop, and Yabba Dabba Doo Bop, and Yabba the Babba Wada Woo Wop, a Wada Suara Mana Woo Wop, a Luala Suara Mama Woo Wop, and Yabba.
He ruined my dream journal! I did not!
Welcome to Mexico, come to the beach, it's swell. As long as those beaches belong to fancy touristy hotels. Come enjoy a margarita under palanquin, while struggling native sells your bracelet or beads. Welcome to Mexico, where the cops are so corrupt that they kidnap 43 students in Ayotzinapa. The government gives the cartel anything that they want. At least we have these cute accoutrements.
Okay, y'all, I literally just woke up, but I have to talk about this. Can we please analyze this? Oh my god. First of all, right off the bat, beautiful. The colors, amazing. Like, oh, the flowers, oh, it's just so spicy, so good, yummy. However, the most amazing thing is the cast, the character. Oh, y'all. I mean, literally, look at just how diverse this is. I mean, look, this isn't even the best part for me. This isn't even the best part for me. Look, watch. Look at the main character. She looks like me. Like, I'm not Colombian, but you know, we Latin people, like, y'all know, like, we like this. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm just so happy.
Hola clase, vamos a ver. Yo soy tu profesora. I am a white woman. We are in Middle America. And we are going to be learning Espanol. Vámonos! When I studied abroad in Costa Rica for 2 weeks, I learned mucho. Okay? In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, tacos are muy diferente que en Costa Rica. You just have to go.
Like really sus.
And every time it rains, Spanish from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains Spanish from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling.
Hey guys, you know what we gotta do? We gotta Christmas.
Elena.
The most commonly spoken language in the US.
Yeah, probably.
Hola, I'm stereotypical Latina YN. It's nice to meet you. Who wrote my character? A Latin or Latinx person, you ask? No. I was written by a white girl who watched 3 seasons of the George Lopez show, so she is very qualified. I am YN, so I don't have a first name, but better believe my last name is either Sanchez or Lopez. Ay, caramba! Oh, perdón. It's just that when I'm very angry, I start speaking in my native tongue. I am in love with the white MC, but you see, I have un secreto. My family, they are... And I have been shoveling cocaine into a plastic bag since I was 1. My diet, of course, consists of tamales and tacos, and nothing more. White MC, you want to date me? But I'm telling you right now, it will not be easy. After all, you have to go through my abuelito Carlos, my papa Juan, my brother Miguel, my cousin Alberto, my cousin Roberto, my cousin Martin, my cousin Pedro, my cousin Juan Alberto Antonio.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at that eye placement on
Get
bugs.
ready for this, guys.
Look at see, the
There
guy
is
no God.
That wasn't real. Who cares?
Don't say that. Please don't say that. It was real. It was real to me.
They're gonna start gaslighting me, telling me I'm wrong.
Who the fuck is this? Who's Jennifer Aniston? Oh, that's from Friends.
You said Aniston.
Stop. I read stuff in Spanish, you racist. I read stuff in Spanish before I read it in English.
Hello. So I heard this song the other day on TikTok, Rata de dos Patas, and I thought it'd be so appropriate to sing it and run down a list of rats in America. Rata inmunda, anima rastrero, escoria de la vida, adefesio mal hecho. Infrahumano, espectro del infierno, maldita sabandija, cuánto daño me has hecho. Alemania, culebra ponzoñosa, desecho de la vida, te odio y te desprecio. Rata de dos patas, te estoy hablando a ti, porque un bicho rastrero, aún siendo el más maldito, comparado contigo, se queda muy chiquito.
What the fuck?
Hello, my fellow Chicanos and or Latinos. Today we're going to be talking about some outdated terms that we really need to stop using, so let's get into it. Our first word is mestizo. The word mestizo comes from the racial hierarchy system that was put in place in Latin America by Spanish and Portuguese colonizers and their descendants. Many of the words in this system for Latinos with African or indigenous blood literally refer to or blatantly use the names of animals. And the whole hierarchy system was just another way for European colonizers to strip social, political, and economic power from those that they considered racially inferior. Instead of mestizo, you can just use biracial. At the end of the day, that is what we are, so it is a fitting label. Secondly, we have raza. This word comes from the saying, Viva la raza cósmica. This saying is rooted in white supremacy and upholds the belief that Latinos with European blood are racially superior to those with African or native blood. Using the term raza upholds that false belief and the white supremacy it's rooted in. I hope you learned something and that you stop using these words.
Si saco las uñas te puedo arañar. Can, kiri, can, corta las cámaras, córtala ya. Can, cacarán.
Cuando tú me mueves el culo, mi nombre es Nicolás y ella grita. ¡Madura! Esto se fue mundial. A mí hay que...
No, because as a Chicana, I know a lot of Mexicans don't like, especially Central America. But like, bro, that's literally us in a different font. Do people think the Mexica were the only indigenous people in Mexico? Because specifically, I'm thinking about the Mayans, because I know the Mayans were in Guatemala and Honduras. So we literally are the same people in a different font because we ended up in different places. I know the Latin American countries were fucked over by Spain. We know that. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know if this is true or not. I just assumed this like last night. But the reason the Central American countries tend to be more brown than Mexicans is because Mexico got super fucked over by Spain. I know the Central American countries got fucked over too. But like, why would a Mexican put down the Central American countries for being more indigenous than us, I guess? Like, are you proud of being fucked over? Like, obviously we have different cultures and all that shit, different countries, because that shit developed over time. But we also have a fuck ton of similarities, you know? For fuck's sake, we all speak Spanish because of Spain. I just don't get why we're so fucking divided when we could be having so much fun sharing our cultures with each other.
There's a problem in this country with white supremacy. Any white supremacists out here? Identify yourself.
I'm so proud to always be called white when I'm not. It's fucking annoying as fuck.
What's that? No, hold on. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm happy for your whiteness. Believe me, if anyone's defending it.
I'm not white, but they call me white.
Oh, I thought you were literally like, I'm not kidding. I really thought you were about to be like, I am sick of the white man's bourbon. And I was like, wow, that is too attractive of a voice that usually. No, it's fine. People think you're white? What are you?
I'm Italian and German.
Okay, you're white. Shut up. That's too good. I'm tired of people saying that I'm Latin American. What are you? Mexican and Colombian? But...
Bestie in Spanish is actually bestia.
Eso era mentira. ¿Qué tipo de engaño ustedes me están haciendo? No puedo respirar.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? God damn it. What do you want?
Sorry, I'm a no sabo. No, hablar español. Perdón. Sí, yo no hablo español, perdón.
I like you. Have a cupcake. I like you. Have a cupcake. I like you. Have a cupcake.
No, because tell me why I saw this Salvadorian lady make pupusas. By the way, I just had pupusas today. They're so good. If you're watching this and you're Salvadorian, I love you. Tell me why all the Mexicans in the comments, especially the ones from the US, We're like, Mexico is better, Mexicans are better, Mexican food is still better. Like, damn. It was just a Salvadorian lady minding her business, just showing people how to make pupusas, and I was sitting there taking notes, okay? Viva Mexico! Mexico! I was like, damn. Anytime somebody mentions the Mexican community and criticizes it, the anti-blackness, the anti-indigenous, the xenophobia towards Central Americans, you attack people even more, which makes us look so sensitive and offended to other communities.
Okay, I've been trying to do this video without crying. It's fucking hard. I couldn't practice my indigenous culture because I didn't have access to it. I didn't have the ability to practice it because of colonization. So because of colonization, many cultures, many people were erased from their cultures. Forced assimilation, annihilation, we were stripped from everything. And that doesn't make us less indigenous. That doesn't make us any less than someone who has those ties and was, is stuck to their culture and stuff like that. Do I wish that I could practice my culture? Do I wish that I knew it? Of course, every day I wish that, but I don't. And that's not to say that I'm not trying. I'm trying. Why am I crying? Fuck. But I feel like people are so confused. A lot of indigenous people are so confused because they feel like they have to be, they have to grow up with their cultures. And that's not to say that us people who have no ties shouldn't try. But we must also remember that some of our elders also don't know at all. So they're not reliable when we're trying to reconnect. And some of our elders have passed on as well. So it's really hard, and it's really hard to reconnect when you don't know, and when majority of it is lost. And I don't want to say that we're extinct because, here I am, but our languages, our practices, everything is gone. What the fuck? Why am I crying? So when people say that, that we're indigenous and that we have to reconnect, but we also have to connect to our cultures, it's like, some of us can't do that. And I don't think that makes us any less indigenous. Yeah, fuck. I tried to do that without crying, but couldn't do that.
If you like smoking weed, let me hear you say hell yeah. Gotcha. Get these motherfuckers.
Pues dile al amor que no toque mi puerta, que yo no estoy en casa, que no vuelva mañana.
I'm gonna let God fix it, because if I fix it, I'm going to jail.
Here are 5 Afro-Latina, and Indigenous environmentalists you should know of. Okay, number 1 is Francia Marquez, a renowned Afro-Colombian activist who organized the women of La Toma and stopped illegal gold mining in their ancestral land. Number 2 is Hector Manuel Ramirez, a Latino Chiricahua Apache Two-Spirit individual whose work as an activist and community organizer focuses on the intersectionality of issues affecting people and families and communities with disabilities. Number 3, Jamie Margolin, an 18-year-old Colombian-American activist who co-founded the international youth climate justice movement, Zero Hour, that led the official youth climate marches in Washington, D.C. and 25 other cities around the world during the summer of 2018. Number 4, Keira Espinosa, an Afro-Indigenous climate justice activist from Ecuador and is the Director of Environmental Affairs for the Tonantzin Initiative. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Number 5, Miriam Miranda, a Garifuna Afro-Honduran human and environmental activist whose work centers the reclaiming of ancestral territories formerly belonging to the Garifuna community and promotes sustainable environmental practices in her community. And last but not least, you too are an environmentalist through your everyday advocacy, your everyday work, your everyday storytelling. Together we can make a movement. You see all this amazing work these individuals have done, and we should continue to uplift their work. And there are so many more Afro-Latine, and Indigenous activists currently active and doing amazing work, and past activists that we should continue to uplift their voice and continue to do their work. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something, because I certainly did.
Bueno, sí señora, mire, le quería encargar 2 enchiladas y una coca.
Hola, estaba llamando because yo quería...
¿Sí? ¿Tú crees que alguna vez yo pueda dejar de ser puta? No.
I made it on the news. They asked how I felt about immigrants in the area increasing every year. I told them I was one.
Mestizaje was created by a Nazi propagandist named Jose Vasconcelos, right? And he was the Secretary of Mexico, right? He wanted to Latinize the native population, right? So what happened was, he was also, first I want to say, he was also a Nazi propagandist and wrote for a Nazi magazine in Latin America called Timon. That's what he created it. He helped write for it, and he helped create it for the Nazi Party to spread that message across Latin America. And the Chicano movement, using that ideology of mestizaje, you know, obviously unknowingly, they are getting that rhetoric and mindset from a Nazi, literally. He was part of the Nazi Party. And again, this idea of white supremacy has been, do you think they're trying to not attack our minds? I mean, you have to look at the history. They have been attacking our minds for 500 years. You've been Mexican, Latino, Hispanic, other mestizo for about 500 years. Before that, let's dig deeper. What were we on this continent? We're indigenous people. We're native people. And again, even those words are from English, Spanish, Indígena. But if we have to dig deeper,
trying to find the pinche gato, I don't know where it's at.
私はチョアさんです。よろしくお願いします、猫ちゃん。お元気ですか？お元気です。
This fool.
Oh, Lois just texted. Burgers or meatballs for dinner? I'll text back for you. Same thing, bitch. Just different shapes. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Word of the day, palabra del día. Today's word is, la palabra de hoy es molcachic, composed of moli, sauce, and cachic, grinder. Compuesto de moli, salsa, y cachic, pulidor. Molcachic. Molcachic.
Okay, tell me what's the most awkward situation in which you've had to translate for someone else. I'll go first. So every time that we go to Mexico, my family and I always take our dad's truck because everyone fits and we like the road trip, but that's besides the point. But this one time when we were coming back from Mexico, we were going through customs and the immigration officers were gonna check our card just to make sure that we didn't have a person like hiding under the truck or like any drugs or whatever they do. So pretty much the officer made us unload the truck and put like all of our bags, all of our belongings on a table, and you know, they were gonna check everything. Then the officer grabs a bag and, you know, takes out like a chunk of meat, like dry meat. And then he was like, what is this? And then I was like, ma, ¿qué dice que qué es eso? And I kid you not, my mom was like, hijo, ese es el tlacuache que le llevo a tu tía. Bro, I'm not about to tell the fucking immigration officer that I have a possum. That's a possum that you're holding. So I literally told him, it's beef jerky. Yeah, it's just like beef jerky. That's how they make it in like where we're from, yeah. Like, what the fuck was I supposed to say, bro?
Tiendita Hall. Pues yo me agarré mi sidral para que esté bien healthy yo.
Sí, chaca mix.
Unos taquis, ajá. Y yo me agarré mi maruchan con camarón.
De pollo.
Y luego some candy para reposar, you know. Ajá. Amazing, amazing. Hay otro. These are the best things ever. They last 3 seconds like your man, pero de todos modos, they're good, they're good. Y these hit different. Yo no sé qué les echan aquí, cocaína o qué, pero saben tan buenos. Y unos churritos para con una salsita valentina y un limoncito. ¿Qué piensas, Chris?
Que la vida de México está chida.
Sí. That's Chocolate, my grandma's dog. We try not to make eye contact with him because se pone muy corajudo and he tries to bite. So it's like we're like Chocolate, but we don't look at him. Oh my God. Sí. Bilingual palitos, rise up. We've been winning a lot of battles lately, comadres. Gracias a Dios.
The Black Revolution, with its high drama, both inspired and somewhat obscured the more localized protests of Mexican-American groups. They are now demanding the rights of citizenship and full participation in the economic, political, and social life of this country. Regardless of the disparity of issues they are faced with or their style of protest, all emerging leaders speak of La Raza, or the race, an almost mystical nationalistic concept that unites all Spanish-speaking people, whether they be called Latinos or Hispanos or Mexicanos. New leaders are emerging from the barrios or ghettos. Rodolfo Coqui Gonzalez, founder of the Crusade for Justice in Denver, organized a cultural center which is now a base for community control.
And I have to demand here that I'm going to read whether you like it or not.
Reyes Lopez Tejarina, a fiery ex-evangelist, is head of the Federal Alliance of Free City States, whose members electrified New Mexico by a daring raid on a county courthouse.
From Delano, the word will go forth all over the country. It'll go to all parts of California.
And Cesar Chavez, with his farm labor movement, is strongest in terms of numbers and national influence, started his battle against California growers 3 years ago.
Well, we care that they're farm workers, and our job is to organize them, and we'll never stop. Our job will not be done until every farm worker is organized.
In the larger cities under the banner of La Raza Unida, they picket and boycott and march to make their voices heard.
Comadres, does anyone else's Hispanic mom like try to put you to sleep? Like ahorita son las 10:23 and my mom's like, yeah, te me duermes. Like, no se me vaya a hacer tarde mañana para hacerme pendejo todo el día. Like, I don't have anything planned. Relax. Take a breath.
Thinking how if it wasn't for the genocidal policies of the US and Mexico, more of our family and relatives would be alive. Still.
Someone commented on my video that my way of making enchiladas is the lazy way of making enchiladas. No. Today I'm going to show you my version of lazy enchiladas. And for that we're going to need a box of your favorite taquitos.